the a-hole for telling my stepdaughter I don't want to be her mother anymore. This story, it is fresh off the press, baby. This one came January 11th, 2026. 2026. I was annoyed immediately when it came out of my mouth, don't worry. I decided to share my story here and hopefully gather some input on the situation that is causing me some real issues currently. By the way, I am using fake names in this story. I am a female in my late 30s, 36, and I am married to Josh, 40. He has a daughter, Ella, 18, who still lives at home and is in her first year of university. I've been married to Josh since Ella was 12 years old. She was on good terms with her bio mother until her mother got married and ghosted her and her father when Ella was only 11 years old. It broke her so much that Josh decided to give it more time before Ella and I would meet. Once we got engaged, Josh finally introduced me to Ella, and surprisingly, we clicked right away. We both loved anime and video games, and we would often play video games together and watch different anime together. When my husband and I finally got married, she was a junior bridesmaid, as I really wanted her to be a part of our wedding. She was there for the whole process and was very excited for her father and me to be getting married. When Ella turned 14, she finally started calling me mom, and we were closer than ever. Around 17, her mother came back into her life, and her father agreed to let her see her mother every month. She still called me mom, but became more distant than she had ever been. At 18, she started calling me by my name. I will not lie, it stung, but despite all of that, I still treated her like my daughter, and I called her my daughter to others. The point of all of this is to show you how close we were and how her behavior shifted. About 2 weeks ago, Ella asked me if she could borrow some of my body lotion from my room. I did not think twice about it because she has done that in the past, but this time I noticed that she was taking a while to come out of my room. I called her name and she didn't answer, so I checked on her. She looked panicked and just grabbed the lotion off my dresser and rushed out. I thought it was strange and just assumed maybe she was stealing my lipsticks or something petty. I got a little annoyed, but I just brushed it off. A few days later, we were hosting a dinner for New Year's Eve. My husband's parents and my sister were invited over for the countdown. During the countdown, my mother-in-law received a text on her phone and got up from her seat. She whispered into her husband's ear and showed him something on her phone. At first, I was confused but not bothered until my father-in-law called out to my husband and told him to go look at his phone. He did, and his face went pale. He immediately started panicking and asked Ella to talk to him in a separate room. Before that could happen, Ella loudly announced, "Did you know that your wife is a whore?" My mother-in-law immediately showed me the video and started berating me in front of everyone. My sister tried to de-escalate and defend me, but my stepdaughter kept instigating by telling her grandparents that I was probably cheating on her dad. This made my mother-in-law erupt. They tried to convince my husband that I was definitely cheating and that I was not a good fit for him. My husband already knew about the work I used to do and had my back, which only angered them more. My husband's parents left abruptly after a huge argument, during which my father-in-law called my husband well, I can't say that word, but sure. After they left, my sister left shortly after to give us time to sort things out. My husband dropped Ella off at his parents' house for the night so he could talk to me and cool down. 2 days later, he brought Ella home and talked to her while I was out of the house. He explained that he knew everything about my past and had always been very supportive of it. According to him, she realized she had made a huge mistake. She cried and apologized to him and told him that her bio mother told her about my past. At first, she did not believe her until she found the tapes. Okay, so obviously adult videos. My husband called me and asked if I wanted to talk to her, but what he did not tell me was that he was next to her and had me on speaker. I ended up saying that I did not feel like I wanted to be near her and that I did not want to be her mother anymore. She heard everything and started crying on the phone. She told me she was going to stay with her grandparents for a bit until things cooled down. I agreed, and that has been the arrangement up until recently. My in-laws have already started telling people my business and slandering my name because of this, which makes me even more angry at her since she has had every opportunity to correct them, but has not. I know she's only a teenager, but I cannot bring myself to go back to the way things were just because she apologized. Please, a little help would be nice. Am I being harsh? Edit. I want to address some things here instead to clear up any confusion. I was 20 years old when I created my first video. Yes, DVDs existed back then. I'm confused on how some people think DVD adult videos didn't exist in 2010. Ella was able to find it online using the info on the DVD. So she went, found it online, and sent these videos to family members at a family party? What a diabolical move that was. No, I don't know the details on how she did it, although realistically, it shouldn't be hard to find as I myself have searched for my content and I have found it very easily. Her father told me that she had screen recorded one of the videos. Oh my God, worst nightmare ever. I kept the DVDs because I was proud of my content at one point, and my husband had requested that I keep some of the ones that he liked. I had never had the thought that my stepdaughter would snoop through my things, so no, I did not burn or hide it. No, this is not a karma farm or whatever some of you are saying. If you don't want to believe this post, you can scroll. I will not be posting the links to my old videos. I am married and I couldn't care less if you believe about my post. I do not hate my stepdaughter. I just need some time to process things. I am still a human being. My stepdaughter's bio mom is friends with my ex-boyfriend, and he was very involved at that point in my life. That's how she knows about my past. My husband did not tell her. She found out from a third party. Josh and I were dating when Ella's mom ghosted my husband and stopped visiting Ella. Yes, she was 11. We dated for about 2 years before we got engaged. We were engaged for 1 year. During that time, my friends and I got really into Naruto and were binging the show. We were close pre-wedding. We clicked instantly is a bit of an exaggeration, but she warmed up to me pretty quickly after she and I found out about our shared interest. I will try to update as soon as possible, but I probably will take some time to actually take advice in the comments. And yes, therapy is an option. That would be hard to come back from, but step parents out there, I would love to hear from you if you were in this position on like how you would feel about that, because there's a lot of layers to this entire thing. Ooh. We're gonna see what the people of Reddit are saying. Someone commented and said, "Not the a-hole, you are not being harsh. An 18-year-old should know better and deserves the harsh consequences of sharing such personal information and videos in the matter that she did. She wanted to disrupt and cause embarrassment." Like, even if you thought she's cheating on my dad, that's just like, the audacity, that is damaging for everyone. Like, I'm sure the family members don't even want to see that. How awkward for everybody. Next comment. From how it sounds, to me anyways, the mom got in stepdaughter's head and probably told her that her dad knew nothing, which it seems like the thing stepdaughter was most upset about from what was initially said. Teenagers aren't exactly known for thinking their actions through, so I doubt she really considered that her dad could have known and just taken your side instead of hers. It doesn't change anything about how effed up what your stepdaughter did was, and it doesn't absolve her of any responsibility. She's old enough to know better and should never have involved her grandparents in any way. However, a parent that has abandoned a kid and then turns back up tends to have a weird amount of influence, especially with teenagers, because the kid often still wants their approval and feels like it was their fault the parent left in the first place. Either way, you are not the a-hole. Next comment. Ella is 18. This wasn't an act by someone too young to know the likely consequences. Her grandparents can darn well keep her if I had any say in the matter, but that would be turned back on you. Not the a-hole for anything you decide is best about this. I guess, yeah. What do you do? Go to counseling together? How do you, like, just rebuild your relationship? Start over? Especially if she's apologetic and taking accountability? Oh, I don't know. This is bad. This isn't just like a little argument. You know, we have an update, thankfully, but first, we're gonna hydrate. It's hydration station. I make the rules here. Yes, you're right. Cheers. I always say I don't make the rules. I don't make the rules that our bodies need water, but I make the rules on this channel and you gotta drink them. I care. Sue me. Lila has some life updates she wants to share with you guys. She has an appointment this Friday to get her teeth cleaned. It's the non-anesthesia one where they don't put you under, but they do like a deep clean because she needs them. She's getting old, her teeth are going, you know? So she has that appointment, and then she also has a vet appointment coming up in the next 2 weeks to go look at her swollen nail. Very tough life, but those are her life updates that she clearly wanted you guys to know. Right, Lila? Can you say hi? That's a no. Okay. All right. The next update came 5 days later, January 16th, 2026. Ooh. Yeah, it's just like real time. I don't know why that's so exciting. Hello, guys. This might not be the update some of you were hoping for, but it is probably the one most of you expected. Wait, what are we expecting? Tell me. Wait, hold on. I need to think about this before I read. I'm just expecting like therapy, like they're gonna work on it. Like surely they're not about to get divorced from this and like all the relationships will end, right? Maybe she just forgave her. What are we expecting from this? I feel like I'm out of the loop. Before I start the update, I want to give some context about Ella's mother and my relationship with her. For the sake of the post and convenience, I will call Ella's mother Lori. Lori and I are not on good terms. Back when Lori and Josh were together, I was actually friends with Josh. We never saw each other romantically at the time, and our relationship was completely platonic. After a while, Lori started to feel bothered by my friendship with Josh. Well, now it kind of seems like she had a reason to be. He ended up marrying him. Instead of talking to me directly, she started asking around about me. She eventually got information through my ex-boyfriend, and once she found out that I was a former adult star, she flipped out. She accused me of trying to seduce her boyfriend and called me a hooer and a homewrecker, trashing me to some of Josh's and my mutual friends. Josh eventually broke up with her after she started threatening me with violence, and they became single co-parents to Ella. And just to clarify, I never had an affair with Josh. Around 2014 to 2015, Lori started dating a new guy. Not long after, she quickly moved in with him, exposing Ella to her new boyfriend against Josh's wishes. Lori's boyfriend was extremely sketchy, and because of that, Josh constantly argued with her about Ella's safety around him. Josh would often threaten to keep Ella away from Lori, and after each threat, Josh would not hear back from Lori for weeks, despite Ella's eagerness to see her mom. Even after all the boundaries Lori crossed, Josh stayed faithful to his promise not to introduce me to Ella until we were engaged. When we finally did meet, Ella and I became close. This angered Lori as she did not want a homewrecker in her daughter's life. She also resented the fact that Josh proposed to me after 2 years of dating, while he never proposed to her during all of their years together. One day, while picking Ella up from our home, she started an argument with Josh. This argument quickly turned violent and she smacked him in the face. Josh snapped and told her she was not allowed to come to his house again or he would call the police. Lori left angrily and decided to leave Ella at our house instead of picking her up as planned. When Josh tried to contact her later, he realized that he was blocked everywhere. Months later, he found out that she had secretly married her sketchy boyfriend without informing anyone. Even though Josh's messages would not go through, Ella would sometimes reach out to her mother and actually get a response. Despite that, her mother never made an effort to meet with her until 2024, which is when my husband started setting up dates so that her mother could see her again. Now that the context is out of the way, here is what happened recently. My husband spoke to Lori about her role in all of this. Many commenters pointed out that Ella was being influenced by her mother, which turned out to be true. Lori admitted to my husband that she told Ella I was cheating on him. She also told Ella about my past to sell the idea that I sleep around a lot. My husband was incredibly upset and called her miserable and insecure. He apparently unleashed hell on her and she blocked him once again. My stepdaughter is living at home again. She showed up at our door with a handwritten note apologizing to me for everything. Even though I was still very hurt about her New Year's stunt, I could not help but feel bittersweet emotion that made me cry hard. In the note, she talked about all the feelings she had kept in for so long. She wrote about how she cried when she found out I was cheating on her dad. She wrote about how she mourned the end of our relationship and how upset she was for her father, going on about how she was stupid to believe her mother. She also wrote that she always loved me, but felt like with her mother in her life, she was forced to choose between us. Even though she thought of me as her real mother at heart, she felt like she would side with her mom because she is her blood mom. I asked her to explain the note to me, and together with my husband, we sat down and talked. It was extremely emotional for all of us, and even my husband started tearing up. Being able to finally cry and tell her how deeply her distance hurt me felt relieving. It went better than I imagined, and I no longer felt anger towards her. I still had some leftover resentment, and I will not pretend otherwise, but I felt good about the conversation. She stayed the night, and the next morning, things were a little awkward but tolerable. After a day of awkwardness, we had another conversation about her mother. She told me she did not want to cut her mother off completely, but she did plan to distance herself for a while. I brought up family therapy, as some of you suggested, but she told me it was not something that she was interested in, which I respected. We are currently on awkward but civil speaking terms. I am not sure things will ever be the same, but I am optimistic that they could improve. I reached out to Josh's parents this morning with Josh beside me on the phone. They apologized in a strange, half-hearted way. They said they do not agree with my past, but they did apologize for saying that I was cheating on my husband. Josh's dad also apologized to Josh for using hurtful words towards him. They never apologized for calling me degrading names, which irritated me, but for now I will take it as a win. A lot of comments were bashing Josh for how he handled the phone call. I wasn't extremely upset about it before, but after reading a lot of the comments, I did kind of realize what a jerk move it was. I spoke to him about it and he apologized. He thought it would be wise to let Ella hear the consequences of her actions, but did not expect me to say that I didn't want her to be her mother anymore. I forgave him as he did what he thought was best at the time, and honestly, I had also made a huge mistake by saying I didn't want to be Ella's mother anymore. I signed up for the role when I got married to her father, so I don't and will not hold this brief moment against him when I was guilty of a mistake as well. But honestly, that's it. So I guess people in the comments were very, from what we read after the first post, people were very much like, she deserves the consequences of her actions. So I think people were probably expecting some form of accountability, punishment. I'm not sure what the word is. Whereas I feel like I just kind of expected this. I honestly don't know what I expected. Clearly, I think you saw that. But let's see what people are saying now that she has updated. I feel like people aren't going to be very happy. Someone commented and said, if your stepdaughter doesn't want to attend family therapy and isn't really willing to address how toxic and manipulative her mother is, I worry this won't end well. Please make sure you are a good advocate for yourself in this situation. Next comment. So what's going to happen regarding the entire community of people your in-laws have been slandering you to? It's a bit late to take that back, and they made it public. Yeah, I feel like this is really all just being brushed under the rug, which is surprising. It's surprising, right? Next comment. They said, no real accountability or apology. The note, right? Maybe the note was real accountability and apology. We couldn't read it, obviously, but no punishment is more so. I don't know. Because even if her mom, was like, she's cheating on your dad, you didn't have to do that. That's what you jumped to? All right, and then another comment, someone said, I feel like in about 10 years or so, we're going to be getting a lot of posts similar to this one as all the OF girls' relationships implode once their past comes out. No judgment here, I can just see it happening. I can't say OF and what that is because it actually gets flagged on every platform apparently right now. It's pretty wild, but OF, just look it up. It's an adult. It can be, depending on what you post. It can be for adult videos, photos, whatever. I feel like sex work is just very extremely common these days, so it might not get the same reaction. I don't know. This is not what I was expecting. It really isn't. I did not think that this was going to be the reason you didn't want to be your stepdaughter's mother anymore. I thought you guys just had like, ooh, I didn't let her go to a school dance or something. Like, okay, not at all. Let me know your thoughts and feelings. Parents out there, gather around in the comment section, please. Give me some insight to this. I'll see you there. Stay classy out there. Stay sassy. Bye.